common names of carboxylic acids are used far more often than their IUPAC names. Carboxylic acids were one of the first organic compounds that were isolated and studied, so there's a long history of using their common names. When carboxylic acids are named according to the common nomenclature system, the carbons are not given index numbers, but rather they are assigned Greek letters according to how far away they are from the functional group, which in our case the functional group is the COOH, where I'll refer to it as the carbonyl carbon. So alpha is the carbon that's directly bonded to the carbonyl carbon, beta is 2 carbons away, gamma 3 carbons away, delta 4 carbons away, and epsilon 4 carbons away from the carbonyl carbon in the carboxylic acid group. So let's look at these two examples that have the substituted carboxylic acids named according to the common nomenclature system. There are 3 carbons in this carboxylic acid, and rather in the IUPAC that would be propanoic, but in the common name that is propionic. And there is a ketone functionality on the carbon next to the carbonyl carbon, so that's the alpha carbon. So this is known as alpha ketopropionic acid. Next to it is another carboxylic acid that has 3 carbons, so propionic acid, and in this case an amino group is bonded to the alpha carbon. So this is known as alpha amino propionic acid. And by the way, this is an amino acid, also known as alanine or alanin, and all amino acids have a carboxylic acid group and an amino group bonded to that alpha carbon, a hydrogen bonded to that alpha carbon, and then some side group, which is what defines the amino acid. And as long as the side group is not a hydrogen, then the alpha carbon is always chiral. So table 17.1, it will be good to have marked in your textbook so you can refer to it for these common names. So if there's carboxylic acid with 1 carbon is formic acid. Formic acid is found in ant stings, and so formic comes from the Latin word for ant. Acetic comes from the Latin word for sour. It has 2, we would call that ethanoic acid. Formic acid we would call methanoic acid. In IUPAC, 3 carbons would be a propanoic acid. In the common, it's propionic acid. In IUPAC, 4 carbon carboxylic acid would be butanoic, and in the common, it's butyric. 5 carbon would be pentanoic in the IUPAC, and in the common, it's valeric. And then an important carboxylic acid that you'll see a lot in this chapter is stearic acid, which has a total of 18 carbons. And then the common name for the dicarboxylic acid, oxalic acid, which in IUPAC would be ethane dioic acid, malonic acid, which in IUPAC would be propane dioic acid, succinic acid, which in IUPAC would be butane dioic acid, and glutaric acid, which in IUPAC would be pentane dioic acid. There are also common names for unsaturated acids. So this right here in IUPAC would be known as propenoic acid, and it's acrylic in common names. And this one would be 2-butenoic acid, and the common name is crotenoic acid. And then also 2 common names that we really use in IUPAC as well, we just use them instead of using the IUPAC, is benzoic acid, where this carboxylic acid is bonded directly to the aromatic ring, and salicylic acid, where there's a hydroxide in the 2 position to the carboxylic acid on the aromatic ring.